Hi, my name is Anita, and I'm here to talk about the evolution of mental illness and the treatment. Well, as you know, in the beginning, there was virtually no treatment for the mentally ill. Family members just threw their family members into these asylums that were no better than jails, where they were in deplorable conditions and basically no treatment as to why they were the way they were. And family members were even advised to not even visit, so no one knew what was going on. But there were three people that I'm going to talk about today that was paramount in kickstarting the evolution of change and how we treat our mentally ill. The first person I'm going to talk about is Dorothy Dix. She was born in Maine, and her career was a tutor. During that time, she kept having these bouts of illness where her doctor had advised her to go to Europe to have a change of scenery. While in Europe, she met up with these other reformers, and she toured Europe with them, going to different facilities and shedding light on the deplorable conditions of their hospitals. And so when she came home, she did the same. She started visiting hospitals and shedding light on the lack of care that they were giving the mentally ill and even the conditions that they were in. And she lobbied for change. Well, she continued on, and she did. She ended up building 3 facilities herself, one in New Jersey, one in Illinois, and one in North Carolina. And she fought for this until her death. The next person I'm going to talk about is Elizabeth Cochran Seaman. Well, she was a journalist for the New York World, and she had a pen name, which was Nellie. She was advised by her editor to go undercover at an institute, the Blackwell Institute, and she did that, and she was there for 10 days. She went on to write a book, actually, called 10 Days in a Madhouse, where she wrote about firsthand experiences that she had, interviews that she had with nurses as well as patients, where she found out that women were just thrown in there, some of them for just cheating on their husbands. A lot of immigrants were in there. She talked about the deplorable conditions and the treatment that the patients got, like being made to take cold showers and sitting on straight back benches for hours on end, packed in rooms, overly filled, chained to beds. And she continued to go on to fight for women's rights and the mentally ill. The next person I'm going to talk about is a medical doctor that eventually turned to psychology. He's a neurosurgeon. His name was Sigmund Freud. I'm sure you've heard of that name. He's not the first, but he's definitely very well known. Sigmund Freud created the psychoanalytical theory, and that is that he believed that the unconscious played a crucial role in our behavior. And he also believed that when you talk to people, if you would just ask them to say whatever comes to mind, that eventually they will start talking and start bringing some of those things out of their unconscious that they didn't even know that was there, and you could help to better treat them. He certainly wasn't the only one. There were quite a few psychologists and psychiatrists that stood on his theory and built their own theory from that. And together, we have what we have today. They focused on connection because at first it was a disconnect. And as humans, we crave connection. But just bringing light to a cause that no one knew about and actually taking an interest in why something is the way it is really aids in our connection, which I think is one of the things that make the world go round. Thank you.